Hi, I'm Jason England for Cosmos Magazine. Today I'm going to show you how to perform the Knight's Tour. The Knight's Tour is an ancient puzzle where you take a chess knight, you place it on a chessboard, and cause the knight to visit every single square on the chessboard, all 64 squares, without ever repeating a square. It's a very old puzzle and it's difficult to do without a system, so that's what I'm going to show you right here. There are really only about 4 or 5 things you need to know to be able to complete a Knight's Tour. I will show you what those things are right now. The good news is that 2 of them are actually mirror images of one another, so it's not even as complex as it sounds. I'll show you the first pattern that you need to know. It's called a diamond pattern because it has the shape of a diamond. This is a left diamond pattern on one quadrant of the chessboard. We call it a left diamond pattern because this upper corner, the corner farthest away from me, is in the left side of the quadrant. Now there's actually a left diamond pattern in all 4 quadrants on a chessboard. Here are all 4 left diamond patterns in the 4 quadrants of a chessboard. Now, there's also a right diamond pattern. The right diamond pattern looks like this. And last but not least, there. As you can see, there's a right diamond shape, and we call it a right diamond pattern because, again, as I'm looking at the board, this square is in the right side of that quadrant, the right side of that quadrant, so on and so forth. So we have 4 left diamond patterns, we have 4 right diamond patterns, and together they make up 50% of all of the squares on a chessboard. There's still 2 other patterns that you have to learn. Those are the square patterns. Here is a right square pattern. We call it a right square because, again, as I'm looking at the board, this upper square here is on the right side of the quadrant. That's a right square. Here's another right square. Here is a third right square pattern. And of course the last right square pattern. There are 4 right square patterns on a chessboard, 1 in each quadrant. As you've probably guessed, there is a left square pattern on the chessboard. It is in these spaces right here. 4 left squares, 4 right squares, 4 left diamonds, and 4 right diamonds. Those patterns make up every single square on a chessboard. The only other thing you have to know about is what we call the danger zones. The danger zones are all of these border squares plus these internal corners to this smaller board right here. So all of these squares are danger squares, and these internal corners are also danger squares. Now, I call them danger squares, or actually the community of people that have created these types of Knight's Tours call them danger squares because you can occasionally get trapped in them if you're not careful. I'll show you how to avoid that. Let's assume that we start in this upper square, the A8 square. I'll even place a knight there to remind us that that's where we started. We are going to perform the Knight's Tour by completing first all of the squares that the knight is already sitting in. He is sitting in the left diamond pattern. So by making legal moves with these poker chips showing us where we've gone, that's a legal move, I am only in the left diamond system right now. Now I'm going to move here. That's still in the left diamond system. From here I can go to here. And this will complete all of the left diamond squares. Now from the left diamond we're going to switch to a square pattern. So let's go to right square, for instance. Here's one right there. Here, here, and here. There's right square to here. This is a right square pattern for this quadrant. And last but not least, this is the right square pattern for the last quadrant. Now I'm going to shift to the right diamond system. We started in left diamond, then we did right square. Now we're going to right diamond, and I can get to it by moving here. We're going to finish all of these. From here we go here. Right diamond squares. From here we go here. Do the right diamond system in this quadrant. From here we go here. Do the right diamond system in this last quadrant. Now notice I ended in a danger square. I'm going to talk about that in just a second. In this particular case it was okay because I saw ahead and knew I would be safe. But sometimes ending in a danger square can be a problem. I'll show you in just a second. But last but not least, we have to do the left square pattern. We can go from here to here, do all of this quadrant, then all of this quadrant. From here we have this move. And as you can see, we're just kind of filling in the gaps now. From here, we do the last moves of the left square pattern. Started in left diamond, then did right square, then back to the diamond pattern, but did the right hand version, and then finally we ended up in the final square pattern. And as you can see, we've covered all 64 squares of the chessboard. So here's what can happen if you're not careful with these danger squares. The idea is to do the danger squares first, as early as you can in the pattern. Right now, I am doing the left diamond pattern, and I am going to try to fill in any of these squares that are in the danger zone as soon as I can in the pattern. I always want to end the pattern, if I can, as close to the center of the board as possible. And I'll tell you why that is here in just a second. We've just done all the left diamonds. Now I'm going to move to a square pattern. I'll move to the left square pattern. And I don't want to go that way. I want to go this way because I am going to try and do all of these edge squares as early in the pattern as I possibly can. Now sometimes you're just absolutely forced to move into a pattern or into a danger zone when you're doing one of these patterns. And if you're forced to, that's okay. But you don't want to wind up ending in one of these danger zones and not having any way out. That's what you're trying to avoid. Now I'm going to move to the right diamond pattern. And as you can see, I could have gone this way and ended here, but I would have been stuck. Instead, I went this way. I did those danger zones, that danger zone first, and I ended towards the center of the board. That's what you're always trying to do if you can. Now in this case we had no choice but to end in a danger zone, but it's okay, I still have a way out. I'm going to go this way through the right diamond portion of the danger zone. No real way to avoid ending in a danger zone here, but that's okay because I can still get out. I looked ahead and I saw that I could still get out. Now I'm going to do these edge pieces as early as possible. Get those out of the way, ending towards the center of the board. As you can see, again, doing these edge pieces as early as possible. And here, doesn't really matter which way we go, we are able to finish the Knight's Tour. So with those 4 patterns and avoiding the danger areas as you're completing the patterns, you should be able to perform a Knight's Tour. So that's the basic pattern sequence for performing the Knight's Tour. I realize that the Knight's Tour is not something that's easy to absorb in one viewing. So what you're probably going to have to do is go back, watch this video a couple of times, and it helps to have a knight and a chessboard and some counters like the poker chips I was using to allow you to see where the knight has already traveled on the board. In other words, you keep track of your moves that way. If you like this sort of thing, there's a lot of information available on the World Wide Web. You can visit my friend Scott Cram's website, www.graymatters.com. And Scott has a lot of terrific information on the Knight's Tour and on this specific method of performing the Knight's Tour in particular. Scott's a friend of mine, and I think you'll enjoy his website. And I want to thank you for watching the Knights Tour video here at Cosmos Magazine. Thanks a lot.